Recently, I used the term sinking fund in one of our financial videos. And I hope you're watching these videos and I hope they're of help to you. But as I talked with you about beginning your budget, I gave you a list of some items to start your budget, and I mentioned the term sinking fund. Well, what is a sinking fund? The expression was first used in Great Britain in the 18th century, and it was used in particular about reducing their national debt. And it went something like this: that any extra money that they had in their economy, in their government finances, they would put it in this sinking fund, and then they would take that and apply it toward their national debt. They were trying to get completely out of national debt, and that would be a good thing. America to get completely out of national debt would be a very good thing, and it'd be a very good thing for all of you to get completely out of debt. By the grace of God, Renee and I, at age 43, became 100% debt-free, as far as we didn't owe any more credit card bills, any more car payments. In fact, we've never had a car payment, but no more medical debts. Even the mortgage was paid off by age 43, and that helped us so very much. So we have used what I call sinking funds, and these are project funds. And there's several things in your budget. Let's review for just a moment the budget. You got your income, you've got your tithe, your groceries, your mortgage, your utilities, your phone, your car payment, gas, life insurance, entertainment, and so forth. And then we talked about having a contingency fund, having an emergency fund. That's the contingency fund. You need to have that. You need to have a few weeks worth of money, very, very liquid. Perhaps a money market. That's what we've got ours in. Ours currently makes 0.3% interest, so it makes almost nothing. But it's very, very accessible. So if we had an emergency, we could get that taken care of pretty quick. But then we developed what I refer to as sinking funds. As we continue to improve and organize our finances, we began to have sinking funds. And so I want to go through a few of those with you. I, again, just sat down with this magic marker and a sheet of paper and wrote some things down, and maybe this will help you. I want to encourage you to plan and to think realistically. I've told you, God is not an idealistic God. He is a realistic God, and He wants His people. And I'm a Christian, so I need to be realistic. And so these sinking funds, they are realistic. And I think they will help you if you'll incorporate them. The first one I put down here is car, both repair and acquisition. Have you ever had to have your car repaired? Well, of course you have. Recently, I was driving down the interstate, and 12 of us cars in a row had flat tires. A piece of rebar had come up in the interstate, and 12 cars in a row had flat tires. And so we all pulled off the side of the road. We all began to help each other. And I had to buy some tires that day. And that's going to happen. You're going to have flat tires. You're going to have things repaired on your car, plus regular maintenance. You need to keep your oil change in your car on a regular basis. That will help your car to last, keep your car well serviced. But you're going to have to repair them, and then you want to acquire. And so you want to plan for your next acquisition. I told you I have never bought a brand new car. I've always bought used cars. I've always tried to find good deals on reliable cars. And so that takes work. But look for that car. But while you're looking for cars, you should always be saving for cars. And then when a good deal comes along, buy it. Sometime back, there was a family selling a car. and it was at a good deal. And my mother-in-law told me about it. And I went and looked at the car, and I instantly bought it because it was a good deal, and my wife drives that car right now. You have to learn how to make decisions, and you can make good decisions if you've saved and prepared. And by the grace of God, we had saved and we had prepared. Where do I get all this financial thinking and so forth? I've gotten it from the Lord and from God's people that have taught me. And I likewise am trying to teach you some things I've learned. So the car fund, sinking fund for repair and acquisition. Then I put up here the word home. Now I'm talking about repair of your home. Through the years, I've had the roof replaced 2 or 3 times during our marriage. And we just recently had it done again. A big wind came through, and over 60-mile-an-hour winds, and it did damage to our roof. I called my insurance company. They came and looked at it, and they approved a full roof replacement. And that was very good. I had a $1,000 deductible on the home, and so I paid $1,000, and the rest of it, my insurance paid for. And I'm very glad of that. And it's got a 25-year guarantee. The roofing company and the type of roof that went on, the type of shingles, 25-year guarantee. I'm very happy with that. But repairs do need to be done on your home. Plumbing repairs, electrical potentially, and the air conditioning may have to be replaced or upgraded. I also put down the word acquisition. You know, you'll want to acquire homes. You know, I told you about the starter home that Renee and I first bought when we were 19 years old. We got the mortgage on it. And I told you about my negotiating skills were probably not very good, and I probably slightly overpaid for the house. But we eventually paid it off. And then we began saving money in a sinking fund to acquire the next house, to upgrade slightly. And so we went from a home that was 959 square feet to a home of about 1,120 square feet. It's not much bigger, but it's a little newer house. Our starter house was was built in the 50s, where the home we live in now was built about 1990. It's a newer home, and we've enjoyed living there. But we began saving money toward the next house that we wanted to buy. And so we was able to make a big down payment on that, and then quickly was able to get that paid off. And so the home acquisition, the home sinking fund, acquisition and repairs. Then I put down this next one, household items, like appliances. Through the years, I've had to buy 2 or 3 refrigerators. I mean, they have to be replaced. And you need to have some money in your sinking fund so that if your refrigerator goes out this week, that you've got some money ready to buy a refrigerator. And you need to keep an eye on all of the appliances at your house, your range, your microwave, all the different appliances. Keep an eye on them. And you know they're not going to last forever. The second law of thermodynamics is basically this: everything is falling apart. Okay? So plan for it with your sinking funds, your household items. And then I put down child expenses. You know, our children went to Christian school at first, and then we homeschooled them. And of course, all that cost, both in tuition and materials and so forth. And then there will be child care expenses if you're using daycare and or whatever. You've got expenses for the children for clothes. And, you know, I told you in another video about hand-me-downs. I think that's still a wonderful idea, that older children hand down clothing to the next age group and so forth. I think that's a really good thing, where that you are good stewards of items. But there's going to be expenses with your children, and children are a blessing from God. I've heard people say, oh, these children are such a burden. I hope you never say that. Now, children are a lot of work, rearing them in the fear and admonition of the Lord, that's a lot of work. And it does cost. Children get sick. Children have to go to the hospital. Children need clothing. They need to eat. Children need to be educated. There's a lot of expenses with children, but it's a great blessing. And so a sinking fund with this child expenses. Now, pet expenses. If you're going to have a pet, then it's going to cost you some money. And so you're going to have to escrow some money. Did you hear the word escrow? Sinking fund. You're going to have escrow some money and be prepared. Your dog's going to need some things. Your dog's going to need food, going to need to see the vet. Your dog may even need surgery. I mean, there's a fair amount of expenses in having a pet. Now, we almost have a dog. It's very close. We have a Yorkshire Terrier. That's my wife's dog. It's almost a dog. It's very close. Her name is Willow, and she's a great blessing, a nice companion to my wife. And so pets have their place. Please only keep them in their certain place. Don't pay $100,000 for a surgery. I couldn't do that. I would not, in good conscience, be able to do exorbitant, I can't say that word, huge, astronomical expenses. You know, live within your means, but there's going to be some expenses if you have a pet. And then vacations. Of course, you'll want to go on a little vacation, and you'll want to save some money to pay for the extra gas and a hotel if you're going to do that, some food as you're out. And vacations are wonderful if you're able to do them. Now, some people spend too much money on vacation. Be very careful about that. And please do not, if you don't have the money for the vacation, don't say, well, we'll just put it on the credit card and we'll figure it out later. People have done that and gotten themselves thousands and thousands of dollars in debt. And then with interest on top of that, that vacation cost far too much. Live within your means. But if at all possible, have a sinking fund for your vacation. Then I put down the word Christmas. You know, we try to give gifts to our children and to our family members and to friends. And so have a sinking fund for your Christmas expenses. Then I put down lastly here this word investment. You know, if you have a surplus of money, perhaps what you can do is have an investment fund. And when a good investment comes along, you can make a decision about that. You know, sometimes doors of opportunities come open, and if you've got a sinking fund with some money in it for investment, it may be a piece of real estate. It may be a building that you can lease. It may be a house that you can lease. It may be an Airbnb. Several of my friends are making some good money with Airbnbs. And so I encourage you to manage your money well. I'm a Christian, so I want to manage it for the glory of God. And I encourage you to get familiar with this term, sinking funds, and organize your finances. I hope that's a help. I wish you would subscribe and maybe tell someone about these videos. May God bless.